mind.
Did you watch Radhe?
I think it's time to end this series, and we should never speak to each other again. All right. Greetings, employees of Dandam Print. Again, we meet again. So this is the second episode where we would again have Sarthak with us, and then we would discuss all the shits that's been going on in movies and shows and all those things, and what we watched over the last few weeks. What are the recommendations and whatever latest news is. Um, Before we start, again, as we start every episode, a little bit of news about Hirsch. he's got, he's got, he's got a job now, and he's in the same company which I work in. So, so probably by the time we start the next episode, we both would be jobless and out of work. But let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Yeah. So we can directly jump into Army of the Dead, I think, and that's what we did in the first time we did this. We always start with Snyder. So Army of the Dead is the new zombie action thriller heist movie from Snyder on Netflix. And I mean, I just read today on a tweet that it actually, 72 million households have seen that movie, and it's been a number one movie since it came out on Netflix on so many regions. And it's supposed to be one of the most uh, one of the best performing movies of Netflix in first 4 weeks. I mean, if you look at that number, that's just uh, bonkers. So 72 million is really, really high, considering Netflix has around 253 million, 250 to 300 million subscribers. 72 million is a huge deal. And that's just households. So if you actually look at the number of screens or number of people who have watched the movie, it could be double or triple than that, because we know how Netflix accounts are used in India and in other regions. So, and not to consider the piracy of that movie as well. Anyway, so it seems like it's a huge success. I'll say I was not that excited when it came out and when it was actually coming out, because I don't like zombie genre anyway. The only zombie movie I had watched before Army was Shaun of the Dead, and ironically, that's a comic version of Dawn of the Dead, which is also directed by Snyder. So it's just all coming full circle, where the second movie which I see is also from Snyder, and it's a zombie heist movie. So yeah, as I said, I was not excited when I saw the trailer. It looked entertaining, it looked fun. So I thought, yeah, I'll give it a chance. But to be honest, when it came out, I saw it the same day it came out. I started it, and I did not stand up during the whole movie. I did not even flinch, or did not move during the whole movie, because it was so entertaining, engaging. There were a few scenes which were really, really edge of the seat action, and then really engaging, as I said, and also good, good emotion, good drama, and good plot as well. It's very well um, sewn together. So I think that's my initial review of it. What do you think, Sarthak? Because I know you are a big Snyder advocate. So
Yeah, I mean, as you said, I think Netflix just announced that like 72 million households watched this movie, right? But I think it's only been week, right? So
yeah,
every other numbers are for like Extraction, and I think there was one called Triple Frontier from Ben Affleck. All their
yes,
numbers
yeah.
were for first 4 weeks. So what Netflix is saying
Ah,
is this is going to be one of the biggest movie, but after 4 weeks, this is going to be probably the biggest movie on Netflix, because it's still just 1 week,
mm,
right? All those movies numbers were for first 4 weeks, and this is
4 weeks,
1 week
correct.
72 million. So maybe
Yes.
word of
Right.
mouth and everything, and probably it will cross or like it will surpass all other movies and probably the biggest movie on Netflix.
And this just
So
proves the sheer power of Snyder fans, because I don't think
yeah,
any
but
other, yeah,
true, but we should also give credit to Netflix, right? The way they just
yeah,
showed faith in Snyder, and I think they probably spent, I'm not sure, but I'm just guessing like 20, 30 million at least in marketing, sales and advertising and everything. I think I just read
mhm,
today that there is going to be a Army of the Dead tour in US. I don't know what exactly does it contain or what exactly it is. Snyder just tweeted that there would be a road show or kind of a tour for Army of the Dead. So I think they are
mhm,
absolutely going all in. They know that this is a franchise. There are already two other properties are coming from the same thing, like I think Army of Lost Vegas. So that's an animation series.
yeah,
No, or I think so, yeah. And then there is also one called Army of Thieves, which is a prequel with the German
prequel.
actor Matthias. So there are already two things coming, and probably there would be a let's say sequel also to this movie, because I think there was kind of a cliffhanger on the movie. Uh,
Mhm.
from my side, I liked it. I mean, I really liked it, but I think Dawn of the Dead is still Snyder's best zombie movie. I mean, many would agree, and also because it was just like a single movie. This movie has way too many Easter eggs and so many other things, which I mean, you really don't know everything after watching the movie. There are so many things that are
Yeah,
unanswered, like how zombie were created, what is going on. I think in some of the interviews, Snyder also said that he actually made kind of a rule book for zombies. Like unlike any other zombie movie, if your temperature drops, then you are turning into zombie. In other movies, if you are hot,
hmm,
then you turn into zombie. So there are some kind of like a specific rule book for this entire franchise that he created. But I don't think anything has been explained here. So I think we have to wait for animation series and prequel series, I suppose. So yeah, and as I said, I think Dawn of the Dead is, I think, probably still the best Snyder zombie movie. I mean, it was also in itself a remake of the original Dawn of the Dead movie, but
mhm,
it's still, I think, best. But I like after reading some fan theories and kind of like a conspiracy theories, kind of Easter eggs and everything. Now I'm more excited because like there are some insane details that some of them miss. I mean, I noticed some of the, or very few details, but some of the details I
yeah,
also missed. Like one of the most insane thing I read was that at the end of the movie, so spoiler alert, at the end of the movie, the person who is infected and is in the plane, right? Wonder Hoe.
yeah, Vandero, yeah,
So yeah, so people are saying that now he'll go to Mexico and he's the Zeus, the main zombie that was created. So that's a time loop. So
right,
he's the Zeus that was first
right,
shown in the starting of the movie. So that's exactly the entire time loop. And we already saw some dead body who looks exactly like the characters. We
yeah,
seen some like robot zombies. So there are not like only like zombies. There are also some other things in Vegas. So we still don't know what exactly is happening. There are some, I think, 2 or 3 second videos in which you can see there are some UFOs flying in like
yes, yeah, in
at
the
the start
opening
of the movie.
sequence, yeah,
So there are
yeah,
probably aliens. So there are like shitload of I think Easter eggs. So I think we just have to wait and watch like what is gonna happen in if Netflix allowed Snyder to make a second movie, because Snyder just said that he already has a story for sequel, right? So yeah,
hmm.
let's see.
So I'm all in for a sequel. I like the cliffhanger of Vanderho's character having bitten, and he'll then drop into Mexico and then infect the whole country. But I do have a few complaints about the movie, and probably you will share the same as well. The
Mm,
shallow depth is not something you get used to really quickly.
true.
And because Snyder shot this movie, or the whole movie on his own, he's using that excessively, just like he used the Wonder Woman soundtrack in Justice League excessively. I'm not sure if it's the same person making that decision. It could be Snyder, because that movie also this was also just full on uh, Snyder control. So
Yeah.
it does pull you out of the movie in some scenes, because it's just so much happening in the scene, and still it's focused on just one character or just two people. But there are literally 4 or 5 people standing behind in the background, and they still are expressing, and they still are acting, and they still are doing something
Mm.
in the shot, and we don't get to see it. And there are, and because also the complaint is the Vegas that he's created is so good, uh, and it's such a good city to have infected by zombies. Whenever you have those scenes which are an entire shot of the city, but you're still focusing on just the character or just one small piece on the screen, and you can't see the whole background, and you can't see the things which are laying there or which are
Yeah.
there in the city, and that burned me out a little bit, because I actually want. I mean, I liked the use of that same shadow depth in some of the scenes, because it actually um, demanded us to focus on that thing which was happening on
Yeah.
the screen. So that was good, but overall, I thought it was a bit excessive. And then the second complaint I have is I could have used a bit of optimistic ending, at least some characters. It's just, I mean, it again, it felt unnecessary to kill off so many characters such quickly
In all,
in your
right? Not
third
so
act.
many. Literally
Yeah,
all
I
of them.
mean, literally 98, 95% of your characters in the third act, and it just felt unnecessary. I thought you could still have uh, 2 or 3 people who would have survived the, the whole heist, or the whole scene that they went through, and then
Mm.
and you could have still had the cliffhanger of that character, zombie bite, and then Mexico and all those things, which is setting up for a sequel. But you could still on the side have 2 or 3 people being at least happy at the end of the movie that they survived and they have the money that they went for. So I'm not sure, yeah,
Uh,
but let's see. I'm ready for the sequel.
yeah, true. But like, let's say, got the counter argument for your second one, right? So I think it's also because he knew, right? If the time loop theory and everything is correct, then he specifically or deliberately, let's say, uh, made us see in the different direction. We just saw that, okay, shit, everyone is dead, but that's a time loop, right? So maybe they'll come back. And also the theory is
Yeah,
that like
yeah.
in every time loop, so like they have tried not one time, they have tried multiple times to do this
Yep.
heist, right? But every time they do a heist, they go
They die
like they
differently.
reach a they yeah,
Yeah.
not just they die differently, but they also reach to a different point. So that was the
Yeah.
first time they probably reached to the vault. Every time
Hmm.
they just reach to a certain point and then they die. So maybe next time there would be a different outcome in which like out of 5 or 7, 3 or 4 people would be alive. So maybe he deliberately
Yeah.
did this because he knew what is going to happen in the second movie. That's the one thing. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the thing. Like people are saying that there are some really dumb decisions or something. And true, like this is a zombie movie, right? So you can't expect some like airtight arguments or like airtight plot. But some of the things that people are saying like this doesn't make sense, I think those things can be solved or can be understood by if you just let's say follow the theories and all the Easter eggs. So
Hmm.
as I said, we have to wait and watch about this plot holes. And
Yep.
also about this camera thing that you just said, right? The shallow thing and everything. So I think, I mean, Snyder said it was a conscious decision, right? So I think he just, because this is the first time he's a cinematographer in this movie, because he's not a cinematographer, right? He's just director. And second thing is, this is the first time he's using, like, he's shooting the film in digitally.
Digital.
He
Yeah.
usually use film, right? So
Yeah.
this is the first time. And also he used some kind of a Canon lens, which was used in 60s with a red camera, which is like one of
Yeah.
the most advanced cameras. So I think it was some kind of an experiment, and I think he just said on the video that he wanted to do this experiment and he wanted to be a cinematographer. So if it fails, people won't blame cinematographer. All the blame would be on him. So he just wanted to
Ah,
make sure
right.
that he's experimenting, and if it fails or if it succeeds, everything is on him. And I think one more thing is, you remember the last scene, right, in Justice League about the Joker and Batman.
Yeah,
So he
that
shot the scene the same way like
same
Army of
thing.
the
Yeah.
Dead because it's the same camera. That's why Joker and Batman has this kind of a shallow depth behind them. You can't see what exactly is going on. So,
And
and
it
I think one
looked the same.
positive
Yeah.
because it is exactly the same way he shot the entire movie of Army of the
Yeah.
Dead. Probably because he was shooting at the same time, or maybe in the same, let's say, uh, year. So
Mhm.
maybe that's why. And I think one thing that worked because of the shallow depth decision for this like cinematography and everything was this Tig Notaro decision. Because otherwise
Hmm.
it
Yeah.
would have been really hard to have take instead of this another character that she just
Yeah.
replaced. So because of this conscious decision that we shot this movie entirely like this, it was at least from my point of view maybe a little bit easier for take also because you can probably not say that I mean you can't even check or see that like
Yeah.
Tig is not in the movie. Like no one would know that she was not in the movie. She just shot all her moves or all her scenes after they finished the movie and they just added her in the post production. No
Digitally
one would
added or
notice it.
digitally
Yeah,
replaced.
so
Yeah.
it looks flawless. So I think that worked on like in Snyder's favor. So yeah,
I I
I
would
mean yeah,
say
I'm
that
not a big fan.
there is still one
True, true.
scene in
Mhm.
warehouse where everybody's planning with the
Yeah,
hotel's model in front of them, and they are planning their moves on what time which person would do which act and all those things. That's the scene where I think I could actually point out and say, oh, Tig actually looks digitally added here or
yeah, but
digitally
because you
placed.
knew that Tig has been like added like
Yes,
post
exactly. Yeah,
production digitally.
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, in
Because we
I
know
think
who
there is
the right who the not the right actor but who the previous guy
yeah
was, and
exactly
then
yeah
she came in.
yeah
Yeah,
really. And there was a one scene I think I don't remember. I think yeah when they were about to enter Vegas, right? They had some kind of like a secret door and then they just open and then the whole group was talking.
yeah,
At
through the
that time there was
containers.
a
Yeah,
one yeah container. So there was one scene at that time when the entire scene like take exactly how can you say take look like right now I am looking right now the zoom.
yeah,
It
yeah.
looks like
So
you can
you
actually
can
see
make
that like
out
Tig
there's
is there
not
and the
yeah,
entire thing is background.
it
So
just doesn't seem seamless and
yeah,
natural.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
But
that's
it's
right.
just like for a like a split second. But yeah, if you
but
notice it
but I
and then
think
you
you're
know that
right.
okay, yeah,
Yeah, but I think you're right. It actually uh, I mean, very few people would notice this, and only the people who actually know that she was recast, and then
yeah,
she
exactly.
and all her scenes were part of the reshoot. But great looking movie, amazing entertainer, must watch if you've
Yeah,
not watched a fun movie in a long time.
yeah,
So
and I mean, last thing we didn't talk about. I think one of the best thing about like the one of the best aspect of the movie, the let's say the opening sequence, which was
yes,
also amazing.
yes,
I mean,
it's
people are saying
great.
it's one of the best. I mean, I still think Snyder had like it's not even in my top three. I mean, it is amazing opening sequence, but I think Watchmen is one of the probably greatest opening sequence of all time. I mean, people say Dark Knight, right? But you should watch Watchmen opening
Hmm.
sequence.
I
It's
also like Man of Steel
unbelievable.
opening sequence, which
Yeah,
is
but the thing is, you Man of Steel doesn't necessarily come into the same category because it's more like dialogues and everything. I'm talking about the
yeah,
opening sequences in which there are usually no
just the
dialogues.
credits.
It's like
Yeah,
a
just the
film within
credits.
a film.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. It's like
yeah,
a
yeah,
film within a film. You get almost like 25% of the movie script in just that 10 minutes. There is
yeah,
no dialogue. You
yeah.
just see what happened, what is going on, what will happen, whatever, like all the character development in 5 or 10 minutes. So that's I think Sucker Punch also is absolutely brilliant opening
Hmm.
sequence. And yeah, Watchmen, Sucker Punch, I don't remember. BVS also is a good one, right? I like BVS, Beautiful
I
Lies.
yeah, yeah.
It's
It's
there's also
I
no
mean,
dialogues.
partly because Hans Zimmer's Beautiful Lie is just amazing, and
Yeah.
also the way it's connected to Man of Steel. That's also something which plays a big part in that opening sequence because we
Same
know
way
how
if you
Man of Steel
notice
ended.
in yeah, yeah, no, I mean same way if you notice in Justice League, right? There are no dialogues for like
Exactly.
first few
Yeah.
minutes. It's just you just see all the things that are happening just because Superman died. So in that way,
Yeah.
Man of Steel doesn't necessarily fall in the same category because it has dialogue.
Right.
It's like
Yeah.
entire 20 minutes Kryptonian film. There's like a
Yes.
like
Exactly. Yeah.
one part of the film which is like entirely on Krypton. So in that way, but if you count everything, yeah, then Man of Steel is the best, like probably the best opening sequence, just because like no one has
Yeah.
ever shot something like this, like Krypton. You just see Krypton for like 15 minutes and you think I need a movie like entirely in Krypton.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You even forget
So
about Superman. You just care about uh,
yeah, exactly.
Jor-El and his mother's character and all those other things which are happening on that
So,
planet. So pretty great. Yeah. So a good recommendation, Hirsch, for you as well. Army of the Dead. You should note it down. It's on
we
Netflix.
probably just
Both.
spoiled the whole movie.
Yeah. It's. I mean, I'm not sure how much you absorbed of this conversation and how much you actually listened to, but you should definitely watch it. Please don't download it illegally. It's on Netflix, and Netflix is available in India, so please watch it
Sure.
officially. Right. So okay. So Army of the Dead is the second thing that I wanted to talk about is a TV show which you suggested, Sarthak, just recently, probably last week, and I started watching it, and I have finished 6 episodes in 3 days, and that's saying a lot because each episode is almost 50 to 55 minutes long, and obviously talking about Mayor of Easttown, it's amazing. It's so again, Hirsch, and for the two people that are watching, Mayor of Easttown is a is an HBO Max show, which is based in which is based in a small town which is called Easttown. Mayor
Mhm.
is the name of the lead character, and Kate Winslet is Mayor in the show, and it's again a murder mystery. It's drama. It's so good. It's I mean, when I watched the trailer, which was a few months ago, I actually thought I might not watch it because I thought, oh, it seemed boring. It just didn't seem like something I would turn on uh, and watch 7 or 8 episodes of. But then I saw the reviews. You recommended it. I saw the first episode, fell in love with it immediately with all the characters, and it's so many things happening simultaneously, not just the murder. I mean, if you look at it, the murder is something which you can completely forget if you just look at the things which
Yeah.
are happening in the lives of everybody else in the show. And I mean, that's something. If you look at a murder mystery show, and the murder itself is on a sidetrack because of
Yeah.
the other things happening, and that's a lot. So amazing show. Again, uh, yeah. I mean, thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, I think the writing is amazing, right? Because when you start watching these episodes, I mean, you are always confused, like who is the murderer, and everyone looks like
Yeah,
a murderer. Everyone has motive, so it's kind of a
yeah,
nights out vibes, let's say. But yeah, but this is an R-rated, so it's an HBO Max, right? So
Mhm.
yeah,
it's like more, and also it has like a great budget, so you can see like cinematography and production budget and production design is
yeah.
also really great, and also like Kate Winslet is absolutely amazing.
Yes,
I think
yeah,
she'll probably win Emmy for this. I think for the limited series category, I'm pretty sure.
yeah,
And uh, I think WandaVision is a close second, but I don't know. Maybe they'll win just because of popularity. But I think I haven't seen WandaVision, but I can still, I mean, say that I don't think someone is going to top Kate Winslet performance this year in limited series at
yeah.
least. And the
I mean,
cast is also amazing. I mean, I was
yeah,
surprised. I thought it was just like a like one man, one woman show kind of thing. So like Kate Winslet was the face, but like there was Ivan Peters, Guy Pearce, Gene Smart, so many people that I didn't,
yeah,
and not just like a side character. They actually had a pretty great story arc too. So, and there are some really shocking moments that I won't reveal, but there are some really good things that you would think that, oh, I thought the series just ended. How is still going on? Like, what is going on?
yes. So
So,
that's what I wanted to talk about. Do you have any theories? Because the last episode that we watched, uh, we thought somebody is going to be the killer. They even confessed to the other character that I am the killer and I did this and I murdered, uh, I committed the murder. But then at the end of that episode, at the very end, in last 5 seconds, we realize he might not be the murderer and somebody
But
else could have done
that's like
that
a
too.
second twist, right? Because even before that episode, they actually killed someone
Yeah, yeah,
who was a
exactly.
kidnapper. So we just thought that okay, everything is over, right? But
Yeah, yeah,
at that time we also thought like, how is this so easy? How was this so easy? It
yeah,
can't be
yeah.
this easy. And yeah, we were right. I mean, this is easy. There are definitely some still like things going on, and people have like this ulterior motives. So we still learn. And I think from the direction or from the flow of the series, I can probably say that if they are making you think that he's or she's the killer, definitely he or she is not the
They're
killer,
not.
right? So
Yeah,
I mean, if
yeah,
you are actually thinking that okay, maybe this guy killed her, then he's not the killer. It
yeah.
would be
That's right.
someone else. So let's see, like what's gonna
And
happen.
even going back to the very first episode, I did not because when you start a murder mystery show, the first thing that you are wondering about is who is the person who will get killed, right? Who's the one who's getting murdered? Uh,
That
if you
I
start the
actually
first
knew.
episode, I didn't because I had watched the trailer very.
No, no, not from the trailer. From like first 20 minutes or something, I knew that this is a murder mystery, right? It's a mini series and murder mystery. And after a
Yeah.
few minutes, I knew that this is the one who is gonna get killed. Like
Oh, okay. Yeah.
she was just there for like half an hour. I knew that yeah, she's definitely gonna get killed.
Yeah. So I didn't know that, and that's good because it's also a very. I mean, that also speaks something for that show, which is that you don't right away know that this is
Yeah,
the
there
person
are some
who's getting
shockers.
murdered.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and then at
But
the end
maybe
of the
I've
very
seen so many mini series, so maybe I can just at least if I see some series in first
yeah.
episode in like first 30 minutes, I can say probably yeah, this guy is the victim. Yeah, he's gonna get murdered.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I mean, yeah, 99% I was sure that yeah, she's just here for one episode. I knew that. Yeah, so I think one of the thing that I also liked is the storyline of Kate Winslet's son. I mean, overall the story is already engrossing and it's like really good, right?
Yeah.
But the way they just also added the story of her son and like her suicide and everything, it's I mean, it's heartbreaking, but I think it is gonna pay off somehow. I think in the finale, there is something going
Right.
on like that direction also. So let's see. Overall, as I said, the writing is amazing, and yeah, credits to HBO and HBO Max, right? They are absolute king of miniseries. When it comes to miniseries, limited series, there are like
Yeah.
there is no streaming service or nothing on earth that can compare or like compete with them. They are like
And
really, really good
that's
with it.
that's what I was thinking when I watched the trailer for the first time. I was like, oh, it's it's HBO Max, but this doesn't seem to be that engaging, or this doesn't seem to be that good. But then, uh, sure enough, when you start watching it, and as I said, there's just so much happening around Kate Winslet's character. You think that she's the most unfortunate person in the world because everything that happens in her family, in her friend's family, and anything around her, it's just doomed. And it's as you said, yeah, it is heartbreaking. But let's see. Maybe, hopefully, we'll get some justice and some closure.
Yeah,
Is
I
is
mean,
seventh the last episode, or do we still have
yes,
two
I
to go?
think yeah, this Monday is the finale. But I mean, the reviews
Perfect.
were good. But one thing that also like made me watch this was the tweet from Jason Keeler. So he's the chief of Warner Media, right? He's the
Right. Yep.
like the top person in the Warner Media. So the entire Warner Brothers studio, HBO makes everything. And when the series started in like after first episode, or I think after first, he tweeted that you have no idea what you are in for, or something like this is one of the basic minis. I mean, obviously he's the Warner Media chief, right? So he's probably seen it, or at least he knows what is going on. So because
Yeah.
usually I don't see top executive tweeting about one particular project or series. So that
Mm.
also made me like think about it like if someone has so much trust like from this kind of a top executive, it must be really good, right? I mean, he knows what is going on, maybe he knows the end or something. Usually, no one
Yeah.
usually tweets this early in like on first episode. So people start talking about it after fourth or fifth episode. Like, have you seen this? Like, this is really good. This is really great. I don't know
Yeah.
what is going on, or we don't know what is going to happen. So yeah, that was also one of the things that like made me think that I should start watching this before people spoil this thing for me.
I even and fortunately I had watched all 6 episodes before I saw this. So I saw the tweet from Stephen King, and
Hmm.
he tweeted that, oh, he thinks somebody else is a killer and he has got his own theories, and that's where I realized, oh, if Stephen King is invested so much in this show, that means it's something good.
The
So
writing is absolutely like airtight. It's so engrossing. It's amazing. It's
yeah.
seriously it's good. Yeah.
It's
So
pretty
yeah,
good.
let's see.
All right. The next segment is probably my favorite. So this is where we talk about things which we've watched over last few weeks but haven't told uh, anyone on this call, and only we know what we've watched. So we will start with Harsh because we've been speaking since long. So Harsh, what have you watched? Um, First of all, have you watched anything that we recommended last time?
अरे बहुत सारे मतलब आई वॉच नाइव्स आउट फर्स्ट वही देखा एंड देन
Right.
जॉन विक पार्ट 1 2 3 एंड
That's
स्टार्टेड
good.
एंड द स्नाइडर कट ऑफ ये
Justice League.
जस्टिस लीग हाँ एंड
Okay.
Nice.
दोनों मतलब माइंड ब्लोइंग नाइव्स आउट तो मैं लास्ट एंडिंग तक मैंने 2 बार देखी अभी तक वो लास्ट तक सस्पेंस रह ही रहा है कि क्या हो रहा है नेक्स्ट मूवी
Which one?
एंड
Knives Out.
नाइव्स आउट या અને
Yeah.
एंड वन मोर बर्ड बॉक्स एंड डार्क सीरीज देखी मैंने बर्ड बॉक्स इज अ मूवी
Oh,
एंड अ डार्क
Dark.
फ्रॉम
The
जर्मन
German one.
हाँ जर्मन सीरीज
Yeah.
Okay. Did you watch all 3 seasons?
हाँ तीनों देख ली
That's good. That's good.
Not even one of the. It's the most complex series ever created.
The best time travel
Sci-fi
show.
series.
Yeah.
हाँ
The
And
best.
I mean, it's still one of the greatest series finale for any sci-fi. The way that they,
Yes.
like, let's say, quote unquote, like, how can you say,
वन
completed the loop. Like,
हाँ
so it was amazing. Yeah.
एक कैरेक्टर जो
And it's airtight.
हाँ लास्ट तक लास्ट सीरीज के लास्ट सीजन के लास्ट एपिसोड तक भी ये नहीं पता चल रहा था कि ये कौन सा बंदा है, ये कौन सा बंदा है। तो मतलब वो तो 2-3 बार और देखनी पड़ेगी मुझे ऐसा लग रहा है। एंड वन मोर डेथ नोट, वो एनिमी देखा मैंने। वो भी एक लास्ट मतलब मिस्टीरियस और अच्छा है, वो भी एक अच्छा है। बस अभी तक इतने ही देखे मैंने। एंड नोबडी देखा।
So it's pretty good. You actually watch a lot of things, so you're quickly catching up with whatever's been happening over the past. And
Yeah.
Dark is a pretty good pickup. I mean, we didn't recommend it, we missed it, but and still you watched it, which is really good. As I said, it's the most airtight time travel.
I mean, for someone who has just started watching something, that isn't something that you should start watching like within first,
It's
first
pretty
week
intense.
or first
Yeah.
month. It's not just it's fucking complex. Like you literally have to
Yes.
note down things like what is going on.
पहले तो नाम ही नहीं पता
live in
चला।
Germany.
हाँ नाम ही
Exactly.
नहीं
I mean,
पता
I
था।
live in Germany and still don't remember all the names. They are so
हाँ।
complex. Like, but the thing is, the casting is so good. So sometimes even without name, you know that this guy, like after 15 years, this 30 years, the guy is same 45, 60 years, all the things, all the timelines and everything. I mean, heads off. Yeah, it's still really, I think, one of the greatest sci-fi show ever created. It's amazing.
But if you look at Harsh, I think he's the best person to watch a show of time loop, because he's also giving the attempt. No offense,
No.
but it's,
now we can joke about it.
Now we can joke.
It's a time loop, and you are the person who has gone through the most time loops in this call. So
Experience.
yeah,
Actually,
Yeah.
but good. Nobody is also a good movie. It's as I like to say, it's old people's John Wick. But, it's it's
There
a
is
good
also one
story.
female John Wick coming, right? Like kind of from Netflix. This
Yes,
Gunpowder
gunpowder
Milkshake.
milkshake. Yeah,
अच्छा
yeah.
Yeah. So, you know,
I mean,
one thing is like you can say that John Wick is so famous now. Any other action movies that is being like made, everything is like this John Wick, that John Wick, this John Wick, like
yes,
old John
yeah,
Wick,
yeah.
female John Wick. So in that way, John Wick has like carved kind of a niche in this action genre. That okay, this is like a ultimate gold standard. If you want like a revenge drama, one guy like killing every people from like start of the movie to end of the movie. So yeah.
जॉन विक
Yeah.
एंड लास्ट आज जो मैं देखने वाला हूँ वो इनोला होम्स वाला इनोला
Okay.
Okay. I've
That
not
I
watched
haven't
it.
seen.
Yeah. They
And
I
just
wa-
announced a sequel. They just announced a
sequel, yeah.
sequel. So Netflix will come up with a sequel. So,
आई वॉच शेरलॉक्स
I mean, they
मूवी
have
एंड
great cast, right? So
हाँ मैंने शेरलॉक्स की मूवी और ये दोनों टीवी सीरीज तो देख लिया बट एक और देखना था तो ये इनोला होम्स मैंने सर्च किया और मैं वही
Okay.
देखने वाला हूँ इस वीकेंड
that's good. At
Okay.
least, so in the next episode, you would have something that we have not watched, and you would give us your review. So,
श्योर
looking forward
yeah,
to it. Yeah. Okay. So that's good. That's a good slate, Harsh.
yeah.
Good
I'm
shows and good
impressed that
movies.
you so like you watch so many things.
And not one thing in that list that you have wasted your time on. Everything.
ना
that
ना
you
ना
watched.
ना
Yeah,
वेस्ट
really
वेस्ट
good. Yeah.
वेस्ट किया
Oh,
मैंने
you did?
या
You just didn't say it.
I'm not gonna say it. शायद लास्ट एपिसोड जब हमारी बात हुई थी तभी मैंने वो आपने वो मना किया था ना तुम दोनों ने वो कौन सा था यार वो विद्युत जैनवाल का मूवी
Shit, you still watched it.
इन फास्ट
It's
फॉरवर्ड in fast forward never never
Okay.
going for the
I don't
Okay,
even remember.
I mean, I shouldn't have brought this up, but anyway, it's just
एंड
wasted our 2 minutes.
बॉलीवुड में मैंने एक हाँ एक अच्छा मूवी अंधाधुन देखा बेस्ड
Oh,
मतलब हाँ
Handmaid is a great movie.
हाँ
Yeah.
वो एक
it's a
मुझे अच्छा लगा
brilliant movie. It's probably the best thriller in last few years in Bollywood.
एंड हाँ एंड बॉलीवुड में मैं मतलब नेटफ्लिक्स हिंदी में नेटफ्लिक्स हिंदी नहीं था वो शायद कौन सा था मतलब आर्या आर्या सुष्मिता सेन का है
Okay.
सुष्मिता सेन का
Hotstar, right?
हॉटस्टार हाँ
Disney
हॉटस्टार पे था
Yeah.
वो भी एक अच्छा
I
है
haven't seen it.
Okay.
वो भी एक अच्छा
Okay.
मतलब लगा या दैट्स ऑल माय थॉट
Nice. Okay. So again, we advise you not to watch any Bollywood projects without looking at the reviews and without consulting experts. Sarthak, what did you watch?
Yeah, I watched a couple of mini series that I thought like we can discuss or I can just maybe explain something. So first was called State of the Union. So it's from Rosamund Pike and Chris O'Dowd. So I didn't know. I still don't know how I found out about.
So it's
this.
a British show, is it?
Yeah, it's quintessentially British, right? But the main attraction of this series is there are 10 episodes and every episode is 10 minutes long.
Oh,
it's just 10 minutes.
What is it? Quibi? Did you watch it on Quibi?
Yeah, the Quibi is like 2 or 3 minutes, right? But I mean, I was shocked, like what is going on? Just 10 minutes, it just started, right? How is it finished? So there are just 10 episodes, 10 minutes per episode. And the thing is, these two are the characters, right? Chris O'Dowd and Rosamund Pike. We know both are great actors. So
yeah,
the thing is, they are couple, and the let's say the entire story of the series is something like they are going into therapy. So for the marriage counseling kind of thing, and before they go to marriage counseling office, which is like just across the road, they go to a cafe.
okay.
Because they are, I think, living separately, right? So they have to meet somewhere and then they have to go together to the office, right? So before they go to the office, they meet at the cafe. So the entire 10 episodes are that 10 meets at the cafe. So they go to 10 different times, 10 different, let's say, appointment. And before that appointment, they get together at cafe, they drink beer or coffee, and they talk about it for like 10 minutes. And then at the end of every episode, they just pay the bill to the bar or the cafe, and then they just cross the road to the office. So it's a great storyline, and it is deemed as like comedy, but it's more of a dramedy. It's like a British comedy. So yeah, it's an interesting concept, and literally there are almost there are no other characters. The entire thing is just these two people. We see other people like sitting in the bar and or like the restaurants and something, but as far as I remember, I think there are literally not a single scene outside of that cafe or bar. The whole thing is just this. They just end like series starts when they open the door. They just sit at the table. They talk about it for like 10 minutes. Like, what are we going to talk about? And otherwise, or they will talk about the things that they talked about in the last
Previous
meeting.
session. Yeah.
Yeah, how we can improve and something like this, and then okay, yeah, now we should go. And then when they just about to go, the episode ends. So it's a great concept.
It's
I
an
really
interesting
like it.
concept. Yeah.
And you can watch. It's like 100 minutes, right? So it's
It's
not
a
even
movie.
2 hours. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
less than movie. So
Yeah.
100 minutes is nothing. So in that way, it's a good concept. I mean, I would recommend it. It's a fresh thing. I mean, I don't know what to say, but yeah, this two, and I think it has been renewed for second season. So
Mm-hmm. Nice. Okay.
hoping for some other characters also, because it's a British series. So maybe there would be some, let's say, cameos
Legendary.
from British stand-up
Yeah.
comedians and something. And second thing I watch is also a British series. So it's also a kind of a, it's not a mini series, it's also a series. I think it won BAFTA this year or last year. It's created by Aisling Bey, the
Oh.
stand-up comedian,
Yeah.
right? Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's called This Way Up. The series name is This Way Up, and there are just I just saw first season. I mean, there is only one season. Second season is, I think, is going to be this year or probably next year. There are six episodes, like almost same as any other British series, and it's also comedy, kind of comedy dramatic kind of thing. The cast is great. I think Sharon Horgan is there. Then there are many other also British, like from the stand-up, let's say, group or from that stand-up community. And I mean, the let's say synopsis is little bit not depressing, but Aisling B had some kind of a depression in like a few months back, and now she's trying to adjust into her like new life and something like this. And the whole thing is, let's say, the whole story is around that, and how is she, let's say, coping with her depression or whatever the things that are going on is on her life,
Right.
in her life. And Sharon Horgan is like elder sister. So yeah, it's a good comedy for 6 episodes, and like just for 20 minutes, it's a good thing. I mean, I like British like comedy
Yes. Yeah.
TV series, so yeah, this was like a no-brainer. Yeah, there is something about like this British humor that's like you can't explain it, but like I just enjoyed so much. So like dry humor.
Now, yeah.
Yeah,
Same. So This Way Up and State of the Union. So these two shows.
yeah,
Okay. So
exactly.
we'll make a note of it and
I
watch
think
it.
definitely
I'll
sure
make note of
you
it.
never even heard of this,
Yeah,
right?
I've never heard of any of these
This Way Up
shows.
maybe because it won BAFTA last year, but State of the Union, I don't know why people are talking about it. I don't know. There are so many things going on. Like some of the things, like things are just piling up and up. So sometimes you just miss some good things.
Yeah, that happens. Right. Okay.
What about you?
So my love for documentaries.
Here we
But
go.
this but this time, so it's not a documentary. So I watched two mockumentaries and I thoroughly enjoyed it. So yeah, okay. So Harsh, for you, so you know what a documentary is, right? It's a real story. We follow real people, and it's based on real events. And mockumentary is something which you take a subject which is a real subject, which is happening in the world right now, or which has happened in the world. But then you make fun of it. You create it in a way that it still looks like a documentary, but it's a comedy movie. So people would still act as this is real life. People would still say things like, "Oh, this is actually happened, and this is what happened, and this is what I'm doing." But it's full on comedy, and that's what a mockumentary is. So the show that you're watching right now, The Office, it's sort of a mockumentary. It can be, I mean, it's not actually a mockumentary, but it can be called as a mockumentary show where a film crew or a documentary crew follows people in the office and they create the show. So
got the point.
So the two mockumentaries that I watched, are both from the mind of Andy Samberg, and that just proves that they are hilarious. So I'm not sure if you've
I
heard
think I
any of
know.
these names. So first is Tour de Pharmacy, and the
Yeah,
second one is 7 Days in Hell. So I'll tell you what happens. So Tour de Pharmacy. So you would know that Tour de France is a very famous
yeah.
cycling competition, and it's a really tough and rigorous competition. It's very hard to win, and Lance Armstrong is the person who has been, I mean, world champion of that sport since so long. And obviously, the controversy surrounding it is that everybody was doping, everybody was uh, taking drugs, and that's why people were winning, and that's why Lance was also world champion for so many times. It's based on the same concept. It's people taking drugs to the to the most limit possible, and then competing in the cycling competition. And it's hilarious because it so I'll tell you the name of the people who are actually appearing in the documentary. So we start with Andy Samberg, then there's James Marsden, then there's uh, Fred Armisen, uh, there's Orlando Bloom, there's John Cena, there's Jeff Goldblum, there's Danny Glover, there's Maya Rudolph. These all are just
I've heard
in
about this. Yeah,
just
it's
in
an
one. And
HBO,
it's
right?
only it's a HBO sport
Yeah,
documentary, and it's only 45 minutes long. So it's a breeze. I mean, you start it and it will just end before you know it. So, and it's hilarious. Every single scene is just outright funny, and all the jokes, they hit the right spot. Maybe not if it's released in this era, it could not survive because it would have been cancelled right away. But
same as The
considering
Office.
same with The Office, yeah. But considering when it came out, it just, I mean, amazing. So many jokes, such good writing, and such good uh, direction as well. The second one again from Andy Samberg, 7 Days in Hell. So that is based on Wimbledon. So again, so the plot line of Andy Samberg's character is he's adopted by the Williams family. And when I say the Williams family, it's the Serena Williams and Venus Williams family. So he's a white kid adopted by the Williams family, and he's also a great tennis player. But then he struggles a lot in his career. He goes off the rails, and he does so many bad things and so many infamous things in his life, and then still comes back to Wimbledon. And his opponent is Kit Harington, who is who is Jon Snow in Game of Thrones. So, and the plot is the match goes on for 7 days. Uh, the tennis match between those two, and and as the name suggests, it's 7 days in hell. And the whole backdrop of Andy Samberg's character, his life, his career, and Kit Harington's character and what he is, and there are, again, if it would come out today, it would get cancelled because there are so many jokes
Inappropriate
about
jokes.
there are so many jokes about the royal family that you cannot you cannot even say, which is so offensive. But these two things, again, 45 minutes. If you have some time on a weekend, go watch these two. It's hilarious. It's so much fun.
Sounds hilarious. I mean, I've
Yes,
heard
and
about both of this, but I've never seen it. I know about like many Andy Samberg. There is one also movie from it. It's called, I think, Pop Star Never Say Never or something. I've
so
heard about it.
funny
It's
you
also
should
really funny,
so,
yeah, but I haven't
yes.
seen it.
So funny you should mention that, because the way I stumbled upon these two is because I wanted to watch Popstar Never
Pop
Stop
Star.
Talking. So I was searching for Popstar, but I couldn't find it on Netflix here, or on Binge or anywhere in the streaming service. But when I searched Popstar, I got the
You got this too.
titles related to, and then I saw these two and saw Andy Samberg's character on the poster, and I like, okay, I have to watch this. And
Yeah, I mean, even without
not disappointed.
explanation, you could have just say Andy Samberg and I was sold. I mean,
Yes, he's a genius. He's amazing.
so yeah.
Um, Yeah, and I think I started watching a third show, which we've already talked about, which is What We Do in the Shadows. So,
Okay.
uh, so What We Do in the Shadows is a movie about vampires who are thousands of years old
Mm-hmm.
and who are living in New Zealand, Wellington, New Zealand, and they are living in current day, like modern life,
Okay.
and the struggles they face every day in the world, being a vampire and then living in this modern era and struggles that they face every day, and then what they have to go through every night. Oh, I shouldn't mention day because these are vampires. So every night, what they have to go through. So that's the movie from Taika Waititi and Jeremy Clement or Jermaine Clement. I'm not sure what the correct name is.
Mm-hmm.
But then that movie came out a few years ago, more than a few years ago. It was uh, very
I think
well
like
received.
2012 or 13. Yeah.
Yeah, very well received. Probably the most successful New Zealand movie ever. And then just a couple of years ago, FX picked up a show called What We Do in the Shadows, and that's the same plotline: vampires who are thousands of years old, but instead of New Zealand, they're set in Staten Island, which is the most hysterical place to be in in the US. So it's pretty funny. It's again a mockumentary style show. Camera crew follows them, and they talk directly to the camera. They talk directly with the crew and engage with them, and it's hilarious. The last episode which I saw had cameos from the original movie cast. It had Tilda Swinton, it had Wesley Snipes, it had Evan Rachel Wood, uh, all those cameos in just one episode, and that was worth it for the
Wow.
whole show. So it's pretty good. I'm still I I haven't started the second season. I just finished first, but yeah, that's something I watched as well. And all three, because I'm in a on a because I'm also watching Mayor of Easttown. I just like to watch something which is on a
Mm-hmm.
lighter note. So these three things I
Okay.
would recommend.
And also there is one more series coming in the like same universe, right? It's called Wellington Paranormal on HBO Max.
I think so. Is it in the What We Do in the Shadows universe, or is it something
I
different?
think so. I don't know. Or maybe I mean, as far as I know, it's kind of a same format, right? It's like vampires, mockumentary, and everything. But it's called
Right, and it is
Wellington
from Taika
Paranormal.
Waititi.
So
Yeah,
true, I think so. That means it should be located or situated in Wellington because it's called Wellington Paranormal.
yeah, it
So
should be.
maybe
Yeah.
more New Zealand accent and New Zealand actors, I suppose.
It is the most innocent accent ever. If you watch that,
So hard to
and
understand.
it is hard to understand. But having been lived in Australia since past almost 1.5 year and having traveling here since last 3 years, now it's pretty easy for me at least. But yeah, I can understand it. It is pretty hard to know
Nice.
what people are saying in New Zealand accent. I think that's it. Any recommendation for again the two people that are watching?
Friends reunion.
I did watch it. I mean, I didn't.
Uh,
I watched it. I definitely watched. It's not that I wasn't going to. I don't like it. It's a good show. It's
mhm.
definitely not funnier than The Office. And the reunion is pretty good. I would say it's not. It's better than what I expected. It's definitely unscripted. It's not something that they've actually shot an episode which is a new plot line or
Mm.
new story or something. It's unscripted. People are coming in and giving their genuine reaction, the full cast, and they've rebuilt the whole Stage 24, the famous Stage 24 Friends set. And the
Mm.
cast would come back to it and they would react and they would watch bloopers and behind the scenes and everything together. And
Mm.
then there's also the whole James Corden interview segment and all those things. So it's a good 1.5 hour watch if you want to spend some time.
Have you read about this? Like, it was also, I think, parallelly broadcast in like almost every country, right? On different channels or networks. So it was also in China, and
Okay.
in that reunion, if you are in China, in that reunion they cut the portion of Justin Bieber and Lady Gaga because they
Oh,
once
they
spoke
did.
something against China. so they just cut their portion.
Lady Gaga is banned from China, na?
Yeah, I think because she met Dalai Lama a few years ago, so she isn't allowed, or anything she's been, and no project has been allowed. And Justin Bieber was, I think when on last concert, when he was in last concert in China, I think he did something, so he's also banned. There are a couple of other celebrities also that were in Friends reunion, but I know about Bieber and Lady Gaga. Both of that scenes were cut from the reunion.
I mean,
so, yeah.
Even if the scenes are cut, I don't think that's any loss.
No, it's
because
not about the length or the. I mean, it's not about length or the person. It's about the thing like that they can do.
It's the message.
Like the impact there. Yeah. Like if you insult, we don't care. Like what is it? You are gonna get cut. So.
But as I said, it's a very well put reunion. It's got a lot of nostalgia in it. If you are an emotional person, you will start crying from the first frame. Probably till the last frame, and there are some cameos, as you already mentioned, Bieber, Gaga, and all those things, and there are some other celebrities also who have already appeared on the show, and they would come back for this reunion as well. So there's nothing new. It's just an interview with those 6 cast members, and then also their reactions.
I think the one thing that we don't find, or like not find funny, but the thing is, I think for me, I think for you it's also same, right? I watched Friends first time in my life, like in, I think 2016 or something. So like almost 25 years after it started, or almost 10 years after it ended.
Same
right?
for me.
So the thing is, I didn't connect that. I mean, for the one time watch, it's really funny. It's great, right? But if you watch this, let's say you watch Friends, but then you watch, I don't know, Office, Parks and Recreation, 30 Rock, What We Do in the Shadow, then Friends seems silly. I mean,
it's just,
and also again, from the time it was being aired, so I don't think I connect that much with Friends now. For that one time when I watched, I mean, I found it really funny. Like it's really great, but like it has never happened to me like that. I want to watch it again. The same way I watched Big Bang Theory, let's say, or The Office, like multiple times. I watched both of these 3 or 4 times in the entire thing. I've never felt that way for Friends. Like, okay, I want to watch it again. Because I don't know, I never connected. Most of the jokes are not funny the second time, or it feels outdated, and it seems silly most of the time. I don't know. And then there is like the biggest plot hole that how can they afford such a big apartment in New York when no one is working?
So, I mean, everybody has a shitty job and still living the best of their lives. So.
True, yeah. So.
And the next recommendation.
What about the
Young Sheldon? Young Sheldon.
That's a good. I've not watched it, but
I have watched. Like, I just finished the last season. Also, it's good, but it's not Big Bang Theory good. I think the reason is it's just about like a young Sheldon, right? So it's not 90. I would say it's 70% drama, 30% comedy. Kind of thing. Characters are great. Acting is great from young Sheldon. I think it's called Jan Arbitrage, right? I don't exactly remember his name. Her mother is also great, Zoe Perry. That's a fun fact. So the mother in Young Sheldon, right? So Sheldon's mother in Young Sheldon is daughter of Big Bang Theory, Sheldon's mother, real. So the mother that you see in Big Bang Theory, right? Sheldon's mother. She's actually mother of young Sheldon's mother.
It's an inception of mothers.
So, like, how can I say? Simply putting, the person who is playing Sheldon's mother in Young Sheldon is like the younger version of the Big Bang Theory Sheldon's mother. But she's also her actual real life mother.
You don't have to explain even more. You're just complicating it even more.
No.
I was just checking his face.
I'll draw a chart for you, Harsh, at the end of this.
For sure.
and explain what's happening.
You just watch Dark, for fuck's sake. You should understand this.
It's not complicated. It's not complicated than that.
Yeah.
It's good. But the one thing I like about Young Sheldon is because I love the Big Bang Theory. So all the things that Sheldon has usually mention about her family, his family, or his father and his mother, they are like consciously, actively trying to make sure that
Prove
the
that.
things that they have mentioned are
Intriguing.
also in this. So the two things that let's say haven't been in the series, but will definitely 99% going to be in the next season is two things. I think Sheldon always says about the time. I think his father cheated, right? So that hasn't been aired. So 99% is going to be in next season, as from the as far as I know. I think creators say. And the second thing is, I think when Sheldon turns 13 or 14, his father dies. So I think both of the things are going to be in next season. So that's why I say it's more like a 70% drama and 30% comedy, because it's more about like sometimes he also it's for him it's hard to connect with people and everything. So but if you've seen Big Bang, it's like, yeah, it's exactly young Sheldon. It's like a younger version of Sheldon. He was like annoying from that age. So in that way, it's good. And the like his brother and sister both are amazing actors. So yeah, his sister I think carries like 20% of the comedy in the entire show. So overall, it's a good series. But yeah, I think it's one of the highest viewed TV series in US right now after Big Bang Theory. But I think the main reason is because uh, let's
So
say,
much.
except Sheldon, the entire show is in Texas, right? So it's like a very traditional and conservative show. It's like about like I don't know, like
Nerds.
patriotism and this and all the things that, like, let's say Republicans like, kind of thing. So they have this kind of a viewer base or kind of an audience in, I think, Midwest or something, who loves young Sheldon, because it has nothing demeaning, nothing. There are no, like, let's say, double meaning joke. There is nothing. It's just simply a drama as someone who is living in Texas, like a conservative traditional family who loves to go to
Christian,
church and
religious. Yeah.
Christian values and family values and something. So in that way, I mean, it's cleverly developed, right? From commercial point of view, it's like a win-win thing. Like people who love Big Bang Theory would watch, and people who hated or who didn't connect with Big Bang because of his, like, let's say, format, some jokes and whatever is going on there, would also going to love this because it has this, let's say, this Christian values, family tradition, and all of these things. So I think it's a really huge show, and I think the fourth season just ended last month, but the network CBS just renewed it for 3 more seasons. So we are getting season 6, 5, 6, and 7.
3 more seasons.
They
Wow.
renewed three seasons in one go. So just imagine how popular it is. It's like 15, 17 million per episode for viewership. That's like absolutely insane. Because like
Wow.
average HBO show gets like 1 million or something. Like if you watch Mayor of Easttown, like Succession, the viewership for per episode is like 1.2 million, 1.5 million. Sometimes it's like in 100,000. And
Yeah.
on this side, it's like 17 million, 19 million per episode. So,
That's
but yeah,
that's
it's a cable, right?
huge.
So
Yeah.
it's not a paid.
Okay.
So good choice, young Sheldon.
It's a
It's
good
a good time
recommendation.
pass.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good time pass. True.
So,
All right. So Sarthak, what's your recommendation?
Um, Yeah, I mean, I also saw a couple of series that I forgot to mention. There is one mini series called Normal People. I think it's on Hulu in US,
Irish.
but it's on BBC. Yeah, it's British Irish thing. It's also based on a book. So there are like I think there are 12 episodes. Uh, it is kind of a yeah. It's not. I mean, it's a romantic drama kind of thing, but it's not like romantic. It's quite depressing. So but it's an amazing drama. So I think it's one of my most favorite mini series. Or I mean, it's 12 episode. It's not mini, but I mean, it's just one episode. Sorry, one season. So in kind of way, it's a limited series. I think it's probably one of the best limited series ever. But it's a hard watch. I would say, because I mean, as I said, there are some really let's say, some topic about depression, suicide, and something like this. And it's also, I mean, pretty explicit. Like when I say explicit, it's explicit. Like there are some really explicit scenes and everything. So it's not a normal drama or something. So, but it's been like let's say lauded for also some really realistic scenes, even sex scenes and everything. But it's the both of the actors were also, I think, this series was their first project. So in that way, they got a great debut. Also, I think both of them won, or they had nomination in almost every single award season, from BAFTAs, Emmys, Golden Globes, and everything. So it's a really good thing. I think, yeah, I can't spoil anything, but yeah, it's a really good watch. I would recommend if you are into this kind of things. Yeah.
Nice. I have heard of it, but yeah, just
Yeah, it's really good. I
what's
mean,
missed.
I wanted to watch it for second time, but yeah, it's too raw, so I still haven't watched. Maybe after like few years or something. And it's so
Okay.
dark. Like in one episode, you like even you get a warning sign like this episode has suicide. So if you have some kind of thoughts, please go to this helpline number and something. So as I
Oh,
said,
okay.
it's not a like an easy watch. It has some like let's say some mental trauma and some other things. So that's why I said it's not romantic drama as like normal thing.
Dexter,
So,
like
but
Dexter,
it's a really good. Sorry,
like
Dexter is, I think, a different genre
acha.
altogether because it's
Dexter
a
is yeah, you can say romantic, but like his love is murder.
yeah.
In that way, it's romantic.
He's in love with killing people and dismembering them and then
Yeah. Other than that,
dumping them in the sea. So
true.
yeah,
Yeah, and yeah, a few more things that I'm watching, but they are just still going on. Like one of them is the Handmaid's Tale. So yeah, that's also
Mhm.
also on
yeah
Hulu.
super. Yeah, it's also on Hulu. It's also, let's say, the storyline
Very
is
dark. Yeah.
completely dark, pitch black. It's a, it's a
Yeah.
dystopian thriller, right? So I mean, this season is considerably better than the last season, because this is, I think, the fourth season. So the thing is, when the first season started, it was good because I wasn't aware of the book and anything, so it was a new experience. I didn't know like what exactly this and
Mm.
everything. But
Mhm.
after second and third season, the series is so dark it sometimes just feels like a torture porn kind of thing. There are
Mhm.
so many horror things are going on, and there are so many depressing things are that going on in the TV series, and it's so normal in that universe that you just feel like what the fuck is going on is like. So because I mean, little bit, right? The synopsis of the Handmaid's Tale. It's like
I I've not read anything about it
the
because
US has.
I just don't wanna know about it because I'll still start watching it and I wanna have
No, it's just this. I mean, it's just a synopsis. I'm not like I'm not gonna spoil anything, but it's
Mhm.
let's say the US has fallen, and there is
Right.
this new kind of a country or area. It's called Gilead, and it's been like let's say invaded, or the country has fallen, and the new people or like government or whatever you say are the hardcore conservatives. So like real life Republicans,
Well,
let's say, and they are living in a society where women are not giving birth to children. Like it's getting really, really hard. Let's say out of 1,000 women, only one or two women can get pregnant. All others are
so
cannot get pregnant. So
they're
you know,
infertile.
yeah, exactly. So in this country, women who actually can get pregnant are called handmaids, and they are kind of like a slaves for every family, and they are passed to every family, and every family it's super dark, but like every family
Wow.
rape this person again and again until she gets pregnant. After she gives birth to a child, she goes to a next family, and that family rapes the women again and again until she gives a child, birth to a child. It's super dark. I mean, but the acting from Elizabeth Moss is absolutely phenomenal. That's what I'm saying, because the thing is, the whole series has this kind of a dark tone, right? So you would think that there would be some kind of a ray of hope on like one door or something, but it gets like darker and darker and darker every season. So that's why I was not gonna watch this season, but after few episodes, now I think like, okay, something is coming or something is going on where I can say, okay, there would be some kind of a future, and this like
Some
some
optimism.
positive things that are going around. So in that way, this season is really good. But I would highly recommend watching it just for the acting from Elizabeth Moss. I mean, Elizabeth Moss, it's
I mean,
phenomenal. Yeah,
I was
the
going to watch it before you said the
subject line
subject,
is
and now I think probably not because just because
there are too many things. Yeah, I mean, I can understand. It's absolutely like really dark and depressing storyline, but it has some like parallel like real life comparisons also with, like, in US, like the way they are controlling women's life, and some of the things that they are doing now are kind of like an extension or the extreme version that is being shown in the Handmaid's Tale. So in that way, it doesn't sometimes feel like, like a dystopian or some, let's say, how can you say, like a fantasy series. It
fiction.
just feels like this is going to happen if we don't do anything in next 25 years or something like this. So I mean, it's an amazing storyline. Its production value is absolutely amazing, and yeah, I mean, fun fact, it's from MGM, right? So I don't know,
It just
probably it's
got
going
bought.
to be on Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
So yeah, and
Okay.
one other thing is I'm watching is Superman and Lois. As a DC fan, that was a no-brainer. But I mean, I thought it's a CW show, so the quality would be shit like Flash or other CW shows. But surprisingly, the production quality and everything is like HBO Max. You can actually feel like a movie production budget. So and surprisingly, it's really good. It is about Superman, but not the Superman that you would think about. It's more about the family of Superman, because both Superman and Lois like has been married for like few years. They have I think they have what you can say, they have two sons, and both of them are like 13 or 14 years old. So both of them are in high school. So it's more about that kind of a family. It's kind of a family drama, but when your father is Superman, let's just say, this is
Do
like a
they?
synopsis.
Do the children have superpowers?
Oh.
Yeah, I'm not gonna spoil that. You have to watch
Okay.
that.
Okay. That's fine.
It's also the
Sounds
charm of the
fair.
series.
Sounds
No,
There
fair.
are
that's.
some
I mean,
things going on. So.
if it's embedded in the story as
Yeah,
a
it's a really great arc about that also. Like, if they
okay.
have superpower or not, what is going to happen, how Superman as a father would react, compared to the like Jonathan Kent, who raised like Clark Kent and everything. Like, how would he react, or how he's supposed to do some things now he has children and something like this. So it's just a really great and fascinating story. Yeah, I would highly recommend it, and I think it's same. It's like 40 minutes, and I think it would be 10 to 15 episodes. I'm not sure how many episodes, because I'm still not sure about the episode count for this season. But I think it started again after 2 or 3 month hiatus because of the COVID. So I think now they are on seventh or eighth episode. But it's amazing. I would highly recommend. And most of the, like, almost the entire series is in Smallville. So it's not in
Okay.
Metropolis.
Yeah.
It's in
Okay.
Smallville. So it's more of like a Midwest vibe and like village and old
Farm
town
life.
settings and everything. So
Mhm.
yeah, and again, as I said, production design and everything is amazing. There are some, um let's say, there are some shock or few twists in the series that are really good that you would not see coming. So that's also really good. I would recommend it.
All right. So
Yeah.
Superman and Lois, Handmaid's Tale, and what was the third one?
Normal people.
Normal
Normal
people.
People. Perfect. Okay. Uh, so from my end, I watched a Bollywood movie, and that's my recommendation this week. Sandeep or Pinky Faraar. I, I mean, I wasn't going to watch it for sure. I never thought that I would actually turn it on and sit for 2 hours or 2.5 hours to watch a Bollywood movie. At least these days, because we don't have any good movies coming out. But because I saw a couple of reviews and because it's a Dibakar Banerjee movie, I thought maybe we should give it a chance. And it's it's actually good, I would say. I That's why it is my recommendation. It's not a perfect on the run movie, because the premise is that both Sandeep and Pinky are on the run because of some engagement with some gangs or some other uh, bullshit that's been going on in the background, and they are on the run and they have to now escape and uh, just survive. Basically, from those goons. So it's a good movie. It's still not the best Dibakar Banerjee movie. I still like Shanghai and Khosla Ka Ghosla way more than this one, but and also the background score was a letdown. It's by Anu Malik. I I mean, when I was so
You
when the
shouldn't
movie
have said that.
started, so when the movie started, the opening sequence is really good. I mean, it's there's nothing happening in the opening sequence. It's just, I mean, I don't want to spoil it because it's actually a very good opening sequence, and the music is playing in the background. And I was wondering, oh, who is the composer of this movie? And then credits were coming on, and then I saw Anu Malik's name, and then immediately I, I my mindset was, oh, this would not be a good score, and it wasn't. Um, there are no songs. I think there's just one song in the movie, which is good because I don't like uh, that uh, part of Bollywood anyway. There's just one song which is still unnecessary. I think we could have avoided it, but it's still there as an item number or as something which is used to promote the movie, probably because you need something right now these days in a movie like this. Performances are also okay. I mean, it's Arjun Kapoor, so what do you expect? But
And
I think
Pariniti
what
Chopra.
Parinti Chopra is good, I would say, way better than Arjun Kapoor. And what works in the movie is Neena Gupta, Raghuveer Yadav, and the direction of Dibakar Banerjee, and the supporting characters are what work
Yeah.
for me, not these two characters of Pariniti and Arjun at all. But supporting characters are very strong. Subplots are also good. Ending was a bit of letdown again, but still, if you want to watch a good Bollywood movie, if you want to watch something in Hindi, it's something you should
So
download.
did you
It's on
watch
Amazon Prime.
did you watch Radhe?
I think it's time to end this series, and we should never speak to each other again. Even though we work in the same company, God damn it, I just realized. So we still have to cross our paths. Yeah.
So let's not
Anyway,
talk about Radhe.
yeah, that's a PSA, public service announcement. Please don't watch Radhe.
Yeah.
There are so many side effects. You can't even list them down. It's even more. It's as deadly as COVID, I would say.
Yeah. We already have one health crisis. We don't want another mental
Yeah,
health
we don't
crisis.
want another pandemic in the country.
Yeah.
All right. So
There are some jokes about Radhe also, right? Like some people were, I think, arrested for, I think, watching Radhe on like a pirated DVD or something. The people were saying you should. There are some like really, I don't exactly remember, but like people were saying like, why would you pirate Radhe, or why would you even pay 50 rupees for Radhe? You should arrest people who watched it, not who sold it. They are the they are the real.
but
Yeah, they are
still,
the.
I mean, look at our audience, right? It's still the most watched streaming movie.
Oh, bapre.
No, I mean, I read that the server of Z5 or something crashed, and at that time I was like little bit impressed. Like, okay, so many people watch,
So
but then
people
I was
are
like,
actually
it's
watching on Z.
no, but yeah, I mean, that's the one. Like, let's say that's the one way to look at it. But the second thing is it's also Z5, right? So Indians are not that great in technical expertise. So maybe just like even 15 people watching it crash, like Z, or even Disney
Who knows
Hotstar
the right
Z5.
number? Yeah.
No, because I think that the streaming service that are being operated in India, they don't have a really good user interface. If you see Amazon Prime or
Definitely.
Netflix, and then you go to even Disney Hotstar or Z5, I don't know any other, it looks like, I don't know, like from 90s or 2000 something. Like it looks so old. There are no options. The like overall user interface is really really bad. So in from that point of view, I thought crashing is not a bad thing. Maybe it's not even related to movie. It just happened at the same time movie got released.
It's a coincidence. Yeah.
Yeah, it may very well be. So yeah, I don't know.
It's an ittafaq, as they call it in Bollywood.
Yeah.
Okay,
So,
but good thing that Sandeep or Pinky Faraar is on Amazon Prime. So at least it's a good streaming service. It's popular enough for people to notice it, and it's not going to be ignored.
Yeah.
All right, so guys, thanks again. And I've never said this in the 3 episodes that we've made, but please like, share, and subscribe. It feels so weird saying this because it is going on YouTube. So please, if you're watching this, subscribe, and we are going to continue making these kind of videos. And it's not that every video will be like this. We'll have somebody else then in the next one, and then maybe after a couple of episodes, we'll have Sarthak again and discuss this.
This is what Joe Rogan must have felt like in 2009 when he started podcast.
Yes, when nobody was watching and he was speaking in a void just with 2 people.
If someone said to Joe Rogan in 2009, you are going to get 100 million per year for this podcast, I was like, what the fuck, dude? Are you high or what?
30 million, not 100. 100 million is for 3-year deal. So
okay, so 30 million. Yeah, it's still like shit lot of money.
Not a bad deal. Yeah. So,
finger crossed, in 2030 we'll get 10 million.
Will be the biggest movie podcast in India. At least.
Yeah, bilingual podcast, Hindi plus English.
Hindi plus English. Exactly. That's a rare combination. All right. Again, thank you guys. Please recommend this to your friends if you're watching this. And if you like even 5 minutes of our conversation, please recommend this to your friends. And we have already made 3 episodes. Please go and watch. The first one was on Harsh's journey of 10 attempts and then successfully becoming a CA. The second one was with Sarthak. The third one was on depression, and then 4th is this one. So thanks again, and we'll see you next time. Thank you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya.